Hey everybody, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. Alrighty, so I have something a little bit different than what I've been doing lately for you today. So before Christmas, I had made a journal with, it was like a writing journal. There wasn't much extra room for adding bits and pieces really, but it had a wraparound cover, and I had made it using packing paper as the cover and just like kind of really distressed it. And I remember, and I don't remember, I'm sorry, I should have gone back and looked to see who messaged me, but I got a comment asking if I could please show how I made the cover. And I was like, yeah, I totally could do that. Maybe after, or I think they even suggested after the holidays, because I think, I was just so busy. And so it's technically after the holidays. It's been a little bit longer than I expected it to be, for me to put that together, but I haven't forgotten. And so I thought, we could maybe work on that together, and hopefully it'll help anyone else who might have been interested in how I put that together, that whole journal together, really. So, okay, what do I have here? I have a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so let me pull this over. So this is Swiffer doohickey. It's just the packaging from a Swiffer thing that I bought. So I thought, well, hey, this could become kind of a cool cover, and it might be kind of neat because it would be short but longer than your typical cover could be. So I think I want to use this for the cover that I made before Christmas. I'm pretty sure I used a cereal box, so any kind of cardboard, and normally I would double this up, but I don't know. I don't think it really needs it. This is perforated here, but I'll be adding more to this, so I don't think that's really going to be a problem either. So here's what we're going to use for building the cover. You can see a little bit better now. So I'll need to square this up and square these two up, because I don't know that I really want to have a rounded corner. Although I guess it wouldn't kill me to do that. But I'll let me get my paper trimmer out. And oops. Okay, so you can see I'm just kind of looking for where that curve ends. Do I want to do a curve? Because the other thing I'm thinking is I don't really want to lose too much of my width here, because we're going to make a wraparound journal, and I don't have to have the spine be part of this, but it sure is a whole lot easier when it is. And when I say that, I mean the spine could be a separate piece. I think I will keep it as part of the journal. So, okay. I'll just cut this part off, and we'll keep that for something else. And do the same on this side. I'm just kind of looking for where it starts kind of moving upward. Let's see how close I was. Oh, not too bad. One side is just slightly longer. And then I may need to, oh, this isn't gonna fit completely in here, but I'll make it work. Let's get rid of that extra little doohickey on the side there. Okay, so now at this point, I'm going to take my ruler and determine how wide it is. Take my longer ruler. And then from there, I can figure out what my dimensions will be. So it is basically 14 1/4 inches wide. So If you take that divided by 2, be, well, okay, so first of all, let's figure out how wide of a flap do we want? And I'm thinking on this one, probably an inch would be sufficient. Or would it be 1.5 inches maybe? So 1.5 inches would be, and I just moved my ruler over to the right to hit it at 14. So 1.5 inches would be right. Oh, that's not helpful at all. Okay, and use my other ruler. Let's just use this one. Easier to work with. Okay. So there's 4. 1.5 inches would be about here. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is where I made that mark, I'm going to make some score lines. If you have a scoreboard, I have a scoreboard, and you like to use it, go ahead and pull it out now. Mine's not handy and I don't feel like I need it ever. So I just do it this way. I line it up on my grid, and then the metal side of my ruler, I use that, and then I just use a scoring tool, and I just go over it a couple of times like this, and fold it. I can see this cardboard is not super secure. Honestly, I think I might, instead of covering this in paper, packing paper, I think I'll cover this with fabric, just because it'll be a little bit more secure that way. So, okay, now let's go ahead and measure how much. I'm gonna grab my other. Sorry, I need this one with my grid lines. Let's measure how wide this is. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 13 inches. If we have a 1-inch spine, ooh, that'd be an awfully big spine. If we had a 1-inch spine, that would give us 12 inches. So each side would be about 6 inches wide. So I'm not going to get super crazy on the technicalities of the measuring here. So I'm just going to measure from this side over here where I made my flap to 6 inches, which is the 0 here, but I'm looking at this. So I'll make another mark. Okay, so that's going to be the beginning of my spine. Pull it down just a little bit. And so I said I wanted, I don't know that I need a full inch spine. A 3/4 inch spine would work. I'm just going to mark this. We don't have to do anything just yet, but I'm just going to see how much room I have now. Oh, look at that. 6 inches. So that's kind of perfect. All right, so that really worked out for me. It normally wouldn't be quite so easy, but let's go with it. So now at this point, I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did over here, where I'm gonna go ahead and score to make some, so I can make my spine. I don't push super hard, but I do go over it several times. So that it will fold easily. And now I'm just lining up my second one, and then after that I will go ahead and fold these. Okay, so one thing you could do is use your ruler to help you kind of keep your lines straight too, if you wanted to do it that way. So okay, now I'm just going to, yeah, this cardboard isn't the best. I think this one will be a journal for me. Oh, you know what? I didn't account for the fact that we need another spine over here, essentially. So, okay, so what I need to do is another 3/4 inch fold on this side. So because this is so short, I'm going to have to take some off of this. I'm going to have to take some off of this. So I'm going to just measure. Well, I don't need to mark it. I mean, I can just go like this, which means then I'm going to have to take 3/4 of an inch off of that other side with my cutter. So, okay, so let me show you what I mean. Yeah, okay, so let me mark 3/4 of an inch so I can remove from that side. This is a little bit all over the place. I'm sorry. That's kind of the way I work. I don't like to be super precise all the time, or yeah, you know. I don't know. I kind of like to wing it. Nothing I'm doing here is earth-shattering or groundbreaking. So if it comes to where this particular piece doesn't work for me, I'll just find something else different to use. Okay, so now you can see we've essentially created a little box, but with nothing on the top and bottom. So all you got to do is whatever size your spine is, you have to make two spines essentially. And so then you need at least that same size on the other side, maybe even more, if you want it to be able to expand. Using a bendable material for this kind of a journal is probably a better idea, to be honest, because that way, if you do want to decorate and add stuff into your journal and don't want it just to be for a writing journal, then this right here, this doesn't need to expand, but this could expand and, you know, open up more easily, but still be cover everything. So hopefully that made sense. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So at this point, what I did for the one in my December one was I just literally took some packing paper, and this is just nothing special or fancy, but at this point, and I don't think it was quite this, well, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do it the way I did it for Christmas, the Christmas one. Since I decided just now I'm going to keep it for myself, I might as well. But essentially all I did was take some glue, and I'm going to glue, let's see, what kind of glue should we use? I think I used, you know what I will do though? I will add some fabric on these two. That'll help. That's what it needs. It needs a little bit of help there. So I'm just reaching here. I just have some extra fabric handy. I'm just going to add a little. This is actually probably a little too thick. So, oops. This is just an old sheet. I think I found it at a garage sale or something. So nothing special. But boy, does it work well for dyeing and using for things like this. So it doesn't need to be the exact height, but I think I will add some to both the front and the back. So, okay, and I don't need to worry about it showing glue through or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue. stick this down, and I'll just do that on both sides for both spines. Okay, so now at this point, I feel a lot more confident about this journal not falling apart right away. And as I was kind of gluing all that stuff together, you know, it occurred to me that if we wanted to add a little bit more width, we could definitely do something like this where I could connect these two, and actually that wouldn't be such a bad idea. I think I'm going to do that. So the way that I think I will do that, I don't want to add extra bulk necessarily. I'm just going to take a bit of extra book page and let's see, what's the best way to go about doing this. So if we glue both sides together with some book page, then there will still be kind of this maybe gap, but I wonder, well, okay, so I'm going to just add some glue here. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac for this one, just because this cardboard is a little bit shiny. So this is, I haven't done this before, so we're going to figure this one out together. My thinking right now is that I don't really want it to have a weird bulge on both sides, although I'm not sure that's something I can get away from. So, but this could turn out really cool. But I want to keep some strength too. So actually what I should probably be doing is using cardstock. Or even doubled up book page might be better. Do I have cardstock? Oh, you know what? I sure do. Look at that. Okay, so let's use this instead. I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to throw this one away. Don't need it. Okay. So, and I'm going to be cutting around this anyway, so add a little bit more glue. And I'm going to have to, I think there will be kind of a bulge, but we could probably do something to make that look interesting. Okay, so I'm just matching the two ends here, and I'm not going to add the other piece on top yet. I'm going to let this dry for just a second, and then I'm going to try and recreate this curve on both sides, and then we can cover it with our packing paper. So, oh, you know what? This piece will help me to get the right curve. Look at that. Okay, so let me use this piece. Let's see. It's not going to be exact, but all right, I'm just going to have to eyeball it from here. And I'm going to shorten the curve just a little bit because I don't want to have to deal with this little weird thing here. So that's not even at all. Okay. You know what I should have done? I should have taken this. Oh well, it is what it is. So, okay. Let me see if I can even this up just a little bit. Okay, it is handmade, right? So now at this point, I'm just gonna glue this side down. It's still not gonna be super, super sturdy, but I'll try and think of another way to kind of fix that with however I design it. Okay, so let's let that dry for just a second. Actually, I'll just go ahead and okay. So yeah, we have kind of a little bit of a ridge here, but actually that's not too darn bad. It's not, yeah, it'll bend a little bit there, but I can do something maybe like with a piece of wood or who knows, but I'll find something to kind of fix that with. So here we have pretty much our essential shape now. So at this point, I will just go ahead and add my packing paper on both sides. And so let's just go ahead and do that now. So I'm not really too worried about smoothing things out yet at this point. Just kind of want to put the glue down, and I'll do that as I smooth it out. I'll smooth it out as I finish adding the packing paper. Form a sentence, damn. And I do kind of want it to be a little bit crinkly too, because that's how I had the first one, and I enhanced those crinkles with some distress stain. So we'll be doing that as well. Being a little bit generous with the glue. You don't really want big pockets of air if you can help it, because then you'll have weird bubbles and things happening. Okay, so just glue this down. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of extra room around the edges, so that it's easier to tear around the outsides. Okay, so I've got it basically glued. Now I'm going to smooth it from this direction, so that way I can hopefully get rid of some of the bubbling happening. Okay. A little bit going on here. You know, and if you had a bone folder that you wanted to use, you could certainly do that. More than welcome to do something like that. I do have a bone folder, and I have done that in the past, but in this case I do kind of like that there is a little bit of imperfectness to it. So okay, now at this point, what you might want to consider would be adding, and what did I do? I feel like I feel like I folded the sides over, and then I just cut. I think that's what I did. So sorry, I'm trying to remember how I did the last one. So I will do the same. So what I'm going to do is remove from all three edges, I guess, and I'll keep this one the way it is here. I'm gonna use my bigger ruler. And this, it doesn't need to be exactly perfectly. Oops, I need the other side. That would help. It doesn't have to be exactly straight, because you're not gonna see. So I'm just tearing down, and I know you can't see it all. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's one piece gone. Now I'm actually going to, let's see, we'll do about this much. I do like 3/4 of an inch to an inch around each edge. It doesn't really matter. I don't like wasting that much material if I can help it. So as long as your flap can wrap around and be secure on the inside, that's really all you need. Okay, put this away. Sorry for the noise. Okay, so nothing different really here. Just made it a little bit more manageable. And so what I like to do is I like to start on the width side, and I'll fold these two ends over, and then, well, I need to cut my corners. Cut my corners. I'm trying to decide how to deal with that curved corner. I think what I need to do is this sort of thing. We'll see how this goes. But I think this feels right. So, so that it can bend around that corner easily. And then I'll still have something to fasten to the actual piece. So, okay. Now, more glue. And again, I'm using Fabri-Tac here, but you don't have to. This one's awfully long. But I like to use glue just on this side, especially if I'm using fabric. I don't tend to like to put it right in there because I find that it's not really necessary usually. And then you're not going to have to worry about the glue showing through to the other side then, or through the fabric. So that's something to think about, I guess. Everybody kind of does this their own different way, or for me, it kind of depends on the project too. So experiment and do what makes sense to you for what your project is. Okay, so we've got glue on both sides. If you didn't have all the bubbling and stuff on yours and that wasn't part of your design, you would want to make sure to keep this taut. And that's why I do this side and then this side. And then I come over here and do these ends. That way it just keeps everything a little bit nicer and neater that way. So I got glue all over my fingers. Okay, and I'm gonna have to curve this just slightly. I see I'm gonna have to make a little cut here to accommodate for that. Little curve. Yeah, this one's gonna be quite interesting. I don't think I've ever done it this way before, so we're gonna figure this one out together too. Okay, so I will make this better in a minute, but before this other side gets too tacky and dries, I want to make sure and get this side folded over. So as you can see, I am keeping it tight, even though I do have the bubbling and stuff on the cover. I still think it will help keep it look nice, looking nice. Okay, so this is okay. All right, so let's see. Let's turn it over and see how that looks. Yeah, that'll look good. Okay. We've got a lot of character going on here. All right, so I'm going to do this side next. It's going to be the easiest one, and I'll keep the other one for last. So in these corners, I make sure to put a little bit of glue on that on both sides. Don't get too much glue in there. It's going to come out anyway. But you want to get your corners nice and secure and covered. And so I'm going to put my fingernail there and just kind of pinch it in just a little bit to cover that corner, and then push that down, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. And I have better tutorials on this with closer up views of my fingers, so I'll go ahead and find those and link those down below. Or actually I'll add it, I've never done that before, I'll add it in the little eye thing here. I'll have to figure out how to do that. I haven't done that before. Okay, so there's that side. Now let's figure out how to deal with this little fun thing. Okay, I think what I'll do is fold this side in first. And I'm actually going to add glue to the paper in this case because I think it'll be a little easier for me to handle. And so let's just fold this over and just kind of work with the curve. I considered using art glitter glue, but I think I need the time to work with this that the Fabri-Tac is giving me. So, okay, now we're going to be overlapping these pieces, but I don't want this to be super bulky here. So actually that's not too bad. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just add some glue. I will be sewing around the perimeter too, so it will be secured for sure. Make sure we get some glue down here. Okay. There we go. And I can cut away some of this extra that I don't think I will need, but I'm gonna let it dry first before I do any of that. Okay, so let's just do the same thing on this side. Glue this little piece down. Ooh, my glue's coming out. And get some glue down here. Okay, I'm going to start at the middle and work my way out. Let's kind of let them go where they feel like they want to go. It is a little bit of a mess, but you know, hey, not too bad. It's pretty darn flat, and this is what I was trying to avoid, was this kind of thing. And I don't think I really have much. So, okay. Alrighty then. So now, at this point, what I would do is retrain my two spines to do what I want them to do. Now, you need to be careful because this is paper. So if you try and bend it too much too fast, see what I'm doing here? I'm bending it this way, and then I'm going to do the same for this side. You could rip it, and you definitely don't want to do that because then you're just going to have to figure out a way to fix it and cover that. So I just try to kind of make it move just a little bit easier. And we'll do the same thing over here. So just gently but firmly refolding this. And we remember we have 2 pieces of fabric on either side. I mean, it's thin fabric, but still there's some fabric there. So okay, so just kind of working with it just a little bit. All right, so now we have a cover on our cute little wraparound journal. So at this point, all I would do now is find this, and I'm just gonna go to town with some distress stain. And you know, you could choose whatever color you want for your distress stain. I did ground espresso because I liked it a little bit darker. You could also use black, you could use gray, you could even do like a fun color like Concord grape, or you know, a darker green or something. Kind of just depends on whatever papers you're going to put inside. But basically at this point I'm just gonna go all over, and I'm actually going on the top, and this is what I did for the Christmas journal too, and I'm enhancing these bubbles and cracks and things. And so I'm going to go around all the perimeters, and even like this, I'm going to highlight the sides of the spines. This is not a fun little task. Don't push too hard, because you know, it's paper again. You don't want to rub a hole into it and then you'll have a hole. But this is basically what I'll be doing now. So I think I'll just go ahead and cut away to this being finished, and we can work on the inside. Okay, everybody, I'm back. So I've gone ahead and inked around all of the edges, made sure and got all of the inside and outside edges. So it's looking pretty grungy right now. You know, there is this one spot right here, it got a little bit dark, and I'm trying to decide if I want to add some decoration. I think I probably do. So I think it doesn't really matter when you do that, but if you were going to sew your decoration on, you might want to do it at this stage, because I'm going to be covering the inside with paper, and so I could cover that sewing that way. Or you could sew your piece separate from this and just make it look like you sewed it on. everybody. Well, I didn't really expect to decorate the front so much, but here's how that turned out. It says, rays of sunlight go back and forth. They don't remain in one place. And then when you open the thing, you can see the rest of it. And then this little tag just says discover. It's a little sticker. Okay. So at this point, what I think I will do is I'm going to sew around the entire perimeter of the book. Well, what I like to do is also around this, also around the inside of this, the inside of this, this, and this. And then normally I would probably also do the entire perimeter. In addition to that, I may or may not do that on this one. I don't know that it's really necessary. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody. So, here it is all sewn. And like I should have mentioned, if you don't want to sew this, you certainly do not need to do that. I just like to do it because it's a nice little extra touch. And I think it just looks nice. So, in this case, I decided, as you can tell, not to do the entire perimeter like I said I might. And I think it looks great the way that it is. So now at this point, we kind of just need to cover the inside. I think what I'll do is just do each section. And so that'll work just fine. I'll use this pen. So nothing too rocket science going on here. You know, this is nothing different from any other journal making tutorial out here. So I think I'll just kind of speed through this. I'm just going to mark each different section, cut it out, and go from there. So at this point now, I didn't cover this area because even if I cut out a strip of paper to go on there, you would still see all this messiness. So I want to cover that with some fabric instead. So I'm going to come into my little fabric stash and put that away. I'm thinking maybe some sari silk would be kind of good as long as it's wide enough. That's the only question. So this is nice. Might not be wide enough. Okay, so the fun thing about this journal is it's super eclectic, so I don't need to worry about matching things. Oh, I love this green. Sorry, I totally just hit the camera. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if that'll work. Would you say it's time to start using some of my fabric scraps? They're too big. There's too much. Okay, so let's see. Yep, that's gonna be perfect. And the reason I like to use sari silk in this kind of thing is it's thin, so it's not gonna bulk up the edges here and kind of like be in the way or anything. So all right, I don't want to get super close to the edge. I'm trying to keep a little bit of room on both ends. So let me just double check that this is gonna fit. Actually, I think I had it this way. This little journal is gonna be really cool. Yep, that'll be good. Okay, so I'm going to stick my scissors there so hopefully it won't move. Actually, those are in my... I'll just hold on to it. And add a little bit of glue. And smooth this out because, like I said, the sari silk is fairly thin, so Fabri-Tac will show through to the other side of thin fabric. And it's not like we need tons and tons of glue here, so just enough to make sure it stays in place. Because we will be sewing in our signature on this one too, so there is that. Okay, very nice. Okay, spine number 2. Yeah, and if you want to, you can kind of work with it with your finger down into the little crevices, so that you can get the glue where you want it to go. I really like this green. And I think I've got it backwards, but oh well, it's working. The fabric is backwards. Okay, so one more little cut here. And spread it out just like before. And if a little bit shows on the top or the bottom, you know, too tall, that's okay. I don't mind that so much. Kind of adds some character, I think. My glue is running out on me. Okay, so just get a little bit on both sides. Smooth it out. And lay it down. Got a little wonky there. I'm trying to hurry so that my glue doesn't fall onto my desk here. Gotta live by the seat of your pants sometimes. Okay. And this is just kind of folded over. The fabric itself got folded over for some reason and just kind of made a little wrinkle there. So that's just going to be the way it is. All right, now at this point, you could be done besides adding your closure, however, whatever kind of closure you want to add. Or I still have a little bit of this paper left, and I was thinking, what if I made like a pocket or something? I don't know. I kind of really love this design. I don't really want to cover that up, but that could be something that's added later too. So there is that. So if you were going to do that, I would do that right now. Now at this point we need to come up with what our closure is going to be, and I think since I used this sari silk on the inside, well, why wouldn't I just make this the closure? So the one that I did for Christmas, I put a button there, and my ribbon or whatever I used, string, I don't remember now at this point, I just wrapped it around the button, so tied it into a knot, and then it could just wrap around like this. So there is that option. If you don't want to do that and you want to make it super simple, you could literally just sew your ribbon or whatever you're using on here like this. That's another option. You could put a hole in here, and I'm just trying to think what else you could do. You could put a hole in here and use an eyelet and put your fabric through that. There's a lot of different ways that you could do it. Actually, I kind of think the eyelet method might be nice, but also kind of liking the idea of just sewing it too. So if I did that, let me hold this, because I kind of like the idea of this being hidden until you open the flap. Okay. So this could wrap around twice, and then you could fold it under. I think I like that idea. So I'm going to go ahead and use the sewing method and just sew this little flap on. Okay, so that was pretty quick and painless. All I did was just did a little zigzag stitch down that, and so here's what the inside of it looks like. I think I might just take a little bit of Distress Stain, there we go, and make that a little nicer looking. Get rid of some of the white. So now there's our closure. So now all we need to do at this point is figure out our signature and sew the signature in. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and end the video at this point, because sewing in the signature, that's something that you know how to do. And so really just wanted to show how to make the little wraparound journal cover. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I may put this one in my shop. You never know. So that'll be a little bit of a surprise, I guess, if I decide to do that. So, alrighty, well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.